Hi, my name is David and I am the TCG cheating guy. My goal is to raise awareness of the different ways people out there might try to cheat during a trading card game. Whether it's Magic, Pokemon, Lorcana, Yu-Gi-Oh, or any other trading card game, it is important to know how to protect yourself against cheaters. And that's why I'm here. In today's video, I want to talk about pile shuffling and why it's important to be very careful when either you or your opponent decides to use this shuffle during a game. I know everybody has different levels of shuffling ability, and for some people, this method takes a lot of stress out of something they might otherwise find quite difficult to do during a game. However, let's take a look at the following demonstration and see why it absolutely needs to be performed correctly if it's going to be used. So, for those of you who either aren't familiar with pile shuffling or perhaps know it under a different name, here we have a fairly standard pile shuffling procedure. The cards are dealt face down from the top of the deck into a number of different piles. In this case, we have 3 different rows of 5. The cards are continued to be dealt until there are no more left in hand, and then eventually the piles will be collected up, and that will be the shuffling procedure complete. This is considered a fairly reasonable way of mixing your cards in most TCGs. However, what we're going to notice in a second is why a lot of care needs to be taken when you're watching somebody perform this shuffle. If you're not careful, then an awful lot of control can be given to the person doing the shuffling, and you'll see why in a second. I'd like to point out that the shuffle you witnessed during that demonstration was an absolutely genuine pile shuffle. No sleight of hand, switches, camera trickery, or funny business were used, other than a small amount of preparation to the order of the cards in order to achieve the result that you saw at the end. This preparation could very easily have been performed whilst preparing for a regular TCG game, and it wouldn't have looked at all out of place. And yet the order of the cards was completely controlled. The entire deck was completely under my control. It's also worth considering at this point that controlling a smaller number of cards would require even less preparation. So be on your guard whenever a pile shuffle is being used. I am aware that some players rely on the pile shuffle as their main shuffling technique, and some of them may be watching and may want to know how to carry on using the pile shuffle as fairly as possible. The shuffle itself is not a sign of cheating, so here are a couple of things you can do to make sure that everything is as fair as possible for everybody. Firstly, make sure that the cards are either dealt or collected in a random order. Collecting the cards up in a pattern or the same order in which they were dealt is a definite red flag. And secondly, as always, make sure that you cut the deck after your opponent's shuffle. That's all we have for today's video, but please do remember to like and subscribe if you found today's video helpful. I will be posting many more videos about this in the future. More importantly, please do remember to share these videos around to all your TCG player friends. The more people that are made aware of these techniques, the less opportunities that cheaters will have to use them. If you do have stories about cheating that you've encountered yourselves in TCG games, I would love to hear about them in the comments. Perhaps I can address this in future videos. Any techniques or things that you might not have been aware of, I might be able to help out with. So comment about that below, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.